Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and you are watching TTV News with some latest events in Tay Ninh province. And now we come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, in the morning of June 3rd, 2021, Mr. Trang Nam, Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, chaired a nationwide online conference to remove technical obstacles to promote consumption of agricultural products in the context of the COVID-19 epidemic. At the brief point, Mr. Nguyễn Đình Xuân, Director of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, attended the conference.
The Plant Protection Department said that the cited technical problems are the concerns of consumers and the quality of agricultural products, in which the issue of residue of plant protection risks and microbial contamination are essential. In the coming time, its main task is to strengthen the management of growing areas and packing facilities, supervise food safety, phytosanitary, negotiate and remove barriers to the consumption of agricultural products. According to the Department of Animal Health, Vietnam still has infectious diseases in livestock and poultry, has not established disease-free areas and facilities recognized by OIE, so it is not eligible to assess import risks for livestock products by other countries. It recommended that provinces and cities should plan and develop husbandry according to production areas associated with processing, reservation, and consumption markets, control epidemic, ensure that no diseases arise in livestock, poultry, and aquatic products, especially for export agricultural products. The Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fishery Quality Management proposed that localities should strengthen measures to support enterprises in producing and consuming agricultural products, while implement the campaign Vietnamese People Use Vietnamese Goods in order to promote domestic consumption, coordinate with distribution channels, industry associations to promote consumption of agricultural products, mobilize farmers to apply biosafety breeding processes. Delegates from provinces and cities also discussed difficulties in production and consumption of agricultural products, the current situation of domestic consumption and export of agricultural products in each locality, set difficulties and measures to solve problems in the new situation. Deputy Minister Trang Nam requested departments and units under its management to promptly grasp information and connect regularly to support localities so that they can remove technical obstacles to promote consumption of agricultural products. The Quality Management Unit strengthened their focal point together to remove obstacles and barriers in Vietnam and foreign partners. Provinces and cities actually implement the assurance of costs for growing areas of agricultural products, develop production plans in association with businesses and partners, creating output for agricultural products, focus on building a close and safe food supply chain in the coming time.
In the afternoon of June 3rd, the Standing Committee of Provincial People Council held the regular monthly meeting under the chairmanship of Mr. Nguyễn Thành Tâm, Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee and Chairman of the People Council. Attending the meeting, there were also Mr. Nguyễn Mạnh Hùng, Standing Vice Chairman of the Provincial People Committee, Mr. Huỳnh Thanh Phương, Deputy Head in charge of the Provincial Delegation of the National Assembly, and leaders of relevant departments, agencies, branches, and mass organizations.
The Standing Committee of the Provincial People's Council gave opinions on the contents submitted by the Provincial People's Committee, including the statement on the proposal to build a resolution on the investment and loan of Tay Ninh Development Investment Fund, statement of the Provincial People's Committee on the proposal to develop a resolution regulating the fee for granting the certificate of eligibility for business in sports activities for sports enterprises and professional sport clubs in the province. The meeting also gave opinions on the preparation for the first meeting of the Provincial People's Council for the term of 2021-2026, which is expected to elect the titles of the Provincial People's Committee for the 2021-2026 term, including the chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, the vice chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, members of the Provincial People's Committee, as well as the Provincial People's Court Jurors 2021-2026 term. Mr. Nguyễn Thành Tâm asked the Provincial People's Committee to quickly prepare reports to send to the specialized committees of the People's Council to continue verifying the contents submitted by the Provincial People's Committee. Regarding the first meeting of the Provincial People's Council 2021-2026 term, Mr. Nguyễn Thành Tâm directed the preparation to be done carefully according to the instructions and to adhere to the proposed program contents. Facing the complicated situation of the COVID-19 epidemic occurring in industrial parks on June 1, 2021, the Management Board of the Provincial Economic Zones coordinated with the Provincial Department of Health to inspect the epidemic prevention control in industrial zones in the province. Among 4 companies inspected during the day, including Hoa Sen Textiles and Garment Company Limited and Langham Garment Company Limited in Trang Bang Industrial Park, First Team Vietnam Garment Company Limited, Thanh Công Industrial Park, and Pro Hum Vietnam Company Limited in Gia Lai Industrial Park, Dum Châu District. There were still 2 companies that did not meet the safety criteria in Decision Number 2194 of the National Steering Committee for COVID-19 Prevention Control, including Hoa Sen Textiles and Garment Company Limited and Langham Garment Company Limited. The common mistakes are the case of wearing masks incorrectly, using unqualified masks, and businesses not providing enough masks for employees. The canteen for staff is still in a state of large gatherings of people, has not divided into small groups, set up partition and distance as eating. At the toilets, public areas have not been cleaned periodically. There is no soap and hand sanitizers as they spray. Some places use hand sanitizer solutions with unknown origin, some made subjectively, not meeting requirements. For this mistake, the delegation also reminded and guided the correct implementation of the criteria and asked the companies to overcome according to the suggestions of the monitoring team. The completion time is 7 days from the date of supervision. Submit reports and proofs to the Provincial Economic Zone Management Board. The Border Command of the province has just awarded more than 1.1 billion Vietnam dong in cash to armed officers and soldiers of the forces performing the tasks of border protection management and COVID-19 prevention control at 159 field checkpoints located in 5 districts and border towns of Tay Ninh. In Tân Châu District, on June 2nd, Colonel Nguyễn Tài Sơn, Political Commissioner of the Border Guard, visited and encouraged officers and soldiers of the Border Guard, police and military and self-defense militia forces are currently performing the task of managing border protection and prevention of the COVID-19 epidemic at 22 checkpoints in the area of 2 border posts under the management of Catum and Tân Hà Border Guard stations. The Political Commissioner of the Border Guard gave each checkpoint a gift including essential necessities and 1 million Vietnam dong in cash for each officer and soldier on duty. It is noted the amount is extracted from the funding provided by the Party Committee, government, people and armed forces of Ho Chi Minh City to support the Ninh province in epidemic prevention, including medical supplies, necessities and cash worth 3.2 billion Vietnam dong. The COVID-19 epidemic broke out and spread strongly, and epidemic prevention measures have been implemented thoroughly. This day in the city and town centers, worse in towns and districts of the province, the streets become deserted. Many eateries hang signs for takeaway. People are more conscious in implementing the 5K principle under the guidance of the Ministry of Health, which is to wear a mask as leaving the house, disinfect hands, keep a distance, not crowded gathering, and make medical declarations. Ms. Nguyễn Phan Thu Hồng, owner of an eatery in Tay Ninh City, said that many people are worried and not leaving the house. The customers have started to decline sharply. Normally on the day of, the eatery is always crowded with customers, but since the epidemic broke out in provinces in the region, Tay Ninh had a case of infection in the community. There were a few customers, so business dropped heavily. Joining hands to prevent epidemic, food and beverage businesses strictly follow the direction of the Provincial People's Committee, the Provincial Steering Committee for Epidemic Prevention Control. Everyone comply with wearing masks, disinfecting hands, and keeping distance. People believe in the anti-epidemic measures which the province is taking and wish to soon defeat the COVID-19 epidemic so that life can return to normal.
Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 epidemic situation is developing very complicatedly in Ho Chi Minh City, neighboring province including Tay Ninh. In order to prevent the risk of the epidemic and infection in the community, especially at religious festival activity, the religious organization faith establishment in Tay Ninh province continue to suspend ceremonies with large gathering, strictly implement COVID-19 prevention measures.
In Tay Ninh province, Cao Dai system occurs for a large number. If the COVID-19 epidemic occurs in the community, it will cause unpredictable consequences. Therefore, the Cao Dai Religious Society requires affiliated religious establishments to strictly implement epidemic prevention control measures according to regulations, suspending on religious activities with large crowds. In case of being really necessity of organization, it must strictly follow the epidemic prevention control measures according to the guidance of the competent authorities. Following the direction of the government and Tay Ninh Cao Dai Religious Society, its representative board in Tay Ninh province also instructed dignitaries and Cao Dai co-religionists in Tay Ninh province to implement the epidemic prevention control measures according to regulations as going out, including wearing masks, disinfecting and keeping distance, not gathering in large numbers, declaring how, especially in Tay Ninh Holy See area, with many co-believers, temple and shrine of Mother Buddha guide the board of directors and believers to follow well. According to the reporters at the holy temples, the temple of the Mother Buddha organization, the activities of epidemic prevention control are strictly carried out in accordance with regulations. Each believer understands and is deeply aware of the fight against COVID-19. Recently, the epidemic situation in Long Tan Nam has been very complicated. Previously, the management board of religious establishment received official dispatches from the province and the religious society letters. Then it reminded dignitaries and believers to wear masks at funerals and worshipping at the sanctuary of no more than 10 people. The management board also reminded the dignitaries and believers to limit going out on the street, not to gather in large number, to worship in their houses. On the full moon day and the first day of worship, there is no music, no ceremony, no more than 10 people on duty. It can be affirmed that raising the awareness of Cao Dai religious followers in particular and Tay Ninh people in general makes an important contribution to epidemic prevention control in the province. Together with the whole country, it pushes back the epidemic, develops production, and improves people's living standards.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today TTV News. Thank you for joining with us and see you next time.